right, Saajan, Doshi and Company, episode 13. So, two movie reviews, long awaited. The Batman and Morbius. I think Morbius was great. I know people talked a lot of shit about it, but I think it was a great movie. I'm going to dive into that. And the Batman and the future of the DCEU, the future of this Batman franchise. I'm going to dive into that. I also think this Batman was great. It cracks my top 5, not my top 3, but let's dive into it on the podcast starting now. Peace.
Everybody, welcome to Saajan, Doshi and Company. This is episode 13. Fun fact, I was recording for like 2 minutes before I realized that the audio, my mic was not on. You know, you lose your focus in this game for 1 second and just throw it all away. Would I have known the mic was off? I don't even know. I think I got up to like just adjust my seat and I was like, wait. I don't think the mic is on, and it wasn't, lo and behold. But no, I'm way better than last week. Last week's pod performance was terrible. I was sick. I was doing like movie trailer reviews. I don't even know if I gave like good reviews. I feel like I just kind of like we watched the trailers and I was like, yes, Doctor Strange, Marvel, good job. And then I just proceeded to go to Hoagie. And then I went to the sauna. But no, in all seriousness, jokes aside, the other thing is I always struggle with how to open up the podcast. I try to see what some of the other pods do that I like, whether it's Joe Budden or Rory and Maul or Joe Rogan, and there's never really any way to open it. And then something I was speaking to is I think sometimes some of these pods go on for a little too longer than I'd like, because I was saying how I listen to more Rory and Maul in terms of like truer podcast. Don't listen to too much Rogan anymore. Like I'll watch more of his clips. Same with JBP. And maybe that's just my listening style. I like things a little bit more tighter and organized. Like if you're gonna talk for 3 hours or 2 hours, have a little bit more structure behind it. But again, that could just me becoming a boomer, because those are boomer tendencies. But like I said at the start of it, special shout out to my listeners in India. Hey, again, India followership is huge, so that's crazy to me. So anyway, again, thanks as always. I'm glad you guys like whatever it is that I talk about when I do talk, but episode 13, this is big. We were in the double digits. Will we make it to 23? I don't know. We'll find it. Lucky number 13, right? Isn't 13 supposed to be a lucky number? Or at least I think it is. So look, I know there's a lot of pop culture stuff that I want to talk about. There's a lot of like that stuff I want to talk about. But I wanted to, like I said at the start, some reviews. Obviously I'm a film guy, definitely a superhero movie guy for sure. And I know there's been a lot. So like I said, Morbius, the Batman, Dune, Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. Those are the 4 movies that I'll be kind of talking on briefly. I'll try to limit it to like 5 minutes a pop, because we all know I love movies and I can talk forever. But let's just get right into it. So, one, Morbius I saw in theaters. Batman I saw on this computer screen. I know maybe I didn't do it justice. Dune I saw on this computer screen. There's a theme here. There's a trend. And then Everything, Everywhere, All at Once I also saw in the movie theater. I actually saw that the day after I saw Morbius. Shout out to all the detectives out there. No one will get that reference, by the way. Only my friends will. So, excuse me. Matt Smith was Doctor Who. Okay, so Morbius. Let me get off straight off the bat. Let's just see what some people are saying on Rotten Tomatoes. And if this takes too long to pull up, we'll just stick to... Because what I want to do is, one, quickly, audience reviews. Look at it. This is a great fucking review. As a person, I was like, no one... So I want to first off say, I enjoyed the movie. I really liked the movie. But I just want to show some of the Rotten Tomato reviews and just kind of disagree with them. So my quick 30-second take, 60-second take on Morbius is that, one... It is a superhero movie. One, you have to be mindful of that. Two, we have to keep in mind that DC has not filmed movies the way Marvel has in terms of like, hey, there is an origin story. We're gonna develop the character. Why did YouTube get clicked if I clicked on Rotten Tomatoes? It's so weird. You know, it's total sidebar. I don't know why my computer gets like slower than a snail when I'm screen recording. It's the oddest thing. It's actually quite frustrating for me. Fuck you, Verizon. I really hope you fucking die, you pieces of fucking shit. And I say that because I pay them for like the most expensive fucking internet, and then this is what the fuck happens to me. I have nothing open. Look at my tabs. I have nothing opened at all. And this is how they fucking repay me. Fucking pieces of shit. Let me stop this for a second and see if that would do anything. Otherwise, I'll just put it up on my phone and I'll keep talking. So like I said, it's a superhero movie. DC is not known for kind of building out, hey, we're going to have a multi-layered approach to this. We're not going to we're just going to kind of get into the meat of this movie, right? And being mindful of what are we comparing Morbius to? If we say Morbius is a bad movie, what are we saying that it's a bad movie relative to what? Relative to the movie itself? Because if you're going to do that, and we'll read some of these comments, God, if they ever get pulled up, then I think you're being very unfair. Because when you look at the story that you're telling of Morbius, is the dude is literally a goddamn vampire. He literally, first of all, he's taking his blood, his DNA, he's taking a bat's DNA, he's combining a portion of the genetic code of the bat into his DNA, and then injecting that back into his bloodstream, which is having the implicit, well, it's not implicit, it's saying that, hey, once you take this bat code of this bat's DNA and you put it into, human DNA, and you make this superhuman bat DNA and you mix it up in blood and you inject it into yourself, you will then not only have the abilities of a bat, which, let's be like realistic, a bat on its own, standalone, isn't necessarily that impressive, right? Because one bat is not moving as fast as Michael Morbius is in the movie. One, a normal bat isn't bulletproof, dodging bullets, does not have superhuman strength, superhuman speed. So you take all that into account and you're like, okay, well, you have to accept that this is a movie that is literally fiction, and there's no way in hell that a bat could do this in real life. So you're throwing like realism out the window, right? So then you're like, what are you actually grading this movie on, right? Are you grading it on how well they make you believe a fictional plot, how well they tell you, how well is this narrative of this story of this doctor coming of age, going through trials and tribulations, and overcoming this and realizing that it's a tragic story. It's the hero who then realizes that, hey, this cure that can help me is also the cure that can kill me and also hurt other people around me. What's the narrative that they're telling me, and how did they film it and bring it to life, right? Under what context are you good? And just so people see, look how shitty this is. Verizon, fuck you. Honest to God, like, fuck you. So I think those are all things that we have to be mindful of before you go and give like Morbius a review. So since my internet is being fucking ridiculous, okay, fucking finally, dude. Oh my God, absolutely atrocious. Okay, so let's see. Cursed with uninspired effects, I don't think so. Rote performances and a borderline nonsensical story. This dreary mess is a vain attempt to make Morbius happen. While I agree that, yes, this was kind of like, hey, they're just trying to push this out there. Like, hey, we need a Morbius story. My issues are, look, Jared Leto doesn't look 53. Yes, if you didn't know that, Jared Leto is 53. He doesn't look 53. Jared Leto at best looks 35, maybe, right? You could make the argument that, hey, if you're Sony, you have time to make a proper franchise, right? You have a time to make a proper universe. So why rush out the gates, be unoriginal, and listen, I liked the movie, but if you're an executive at Sony, and this is coming from a guy who's business, I worked in banking, work in PE, and I'm a creative, right? I understand the pressure to make a blockbuster, But you have to realize that this formula with Jared Leto at best gets you 2 blockbusters. He's 53. He's not going to think about that, right? Think about everything else in that Sony universe, right? Let's think about what's in the pipeline of Madam Web, right? With Dakota Johnson and God Sweeney, her name from Euphoria. And then obviously you think about, hey, maybe what Spider-Man crossovers, right? Are we bringing back Andrew Garfield, right? Or Tobey Maguire, right? Even he's 10 years younger than Jared Leto. I think Andrew Garfield's like 35. Tom Hardy, mid-30s. Venom, right? And you think about, okay, well, we have like our Sony universe, right, that we can dabble in and grow. Why not create a Morbius franchise and a Morbius world that obviously exists within the Sony Spider-Man Spider-Verse? But hey, what can we do to build a longer-term franchise that will allow us to make a movie with a Morbius character that's more thought out, more depth, and we're not rushing from origin story, bat DNA, go and do this, right? Because the shelf life is so short and you've kind of just rushed it and jammed it down people's throats. And you can tell how lazy people were when they did this, because the end credits make 0 sense, right? Because Sony had to get it. I don't know if they got permission, but it doesn't matter, because whatever the MCU does, if in the next Spider-Man movie or in any MCU movie show, and I don't know if this will happen, all they have to do is affirm the fact that once Doctor Strange reversed his spell, the Vulture came back, or they just have to show the Vulture sitting in his cell, and that literally just wipes out Morbius's ending, the end credit scene, because once he redid his spell at the end of No Way Home, and we'll see what happens in the Multiverse of Madness, so I could be totally wrong on this take, is that the Vulture is back in his cell, because everyone gets sent back to their respective universes. So that doesn't make any sense at all, right? So that just further shows like, oh, maybe they just did shove things down just to get it out there, to have Morbius, and then like, oh, we'll try to intertwine MCU, Vulture, and kind of keep people, we'll just jam everything down people's throat, jam things down people's throats. So I think Sony missed a great chance of like having a chance of, hey, can we build a proper Morbius franchise, build a character up from the ground up for multiple movies, and then, hey, how do we tie this in with some of these other properties we have? So it isn't to say it's not an entertaining movie, it's not a fun movie. I just think they missed the mark at what they could have done. So I don't think the story was bad either. I just think you could have had more depth to it, right, versus just jumping into it. But let me look at some of this, some of these reactions. Somehow Jared Leto is not even the best Jared in Morbius. Oh, enough with the origin stories we did not ask for. But see, this wasn't even an origin story, right? I think, let me wait. Morbius at best will be remembered as the latest effort on Sony's part to make its nascent Sinister Six franchise happen. And like Fetch, it's hard to see that happening. Yeah, see, and that's the thing, is that if you were going to do this, you could have done it better, and you maybe could have built it more, right? So again, I think I agree with the critics coming from the standpoint of like, if you're going to do it, don't half-ass it. And if you're going to do it, make it be something more than it is, which is like some generic superhero movie of like, oh, he gets powers and his best friend's the villain and he falls in love with the girl. And like, I understand that those are the character arcs and themes of a lot of movies, but it's like, do better. So there's that. So all in all, look, I think Morbius is like an enjoyable movie. I don't think it's as bad as people are saying. I think the hate and the vitriol is coming from the fact that Sony should have done better. Sony had more responsibility to make it a better movie than it is, and it just wasn't the case. So with that being said, wow, look at that. Going from bats to bats, going from Morbius to the Batman. Here we are, right? I know Bruce Wayne sure shit wishes he had Morbius's powers. With his smarts, he'd be unstoppable. Yeah. Okay, so the Batman. First of all, what is the future of the Batman? Let me see what they say really quickly. Future. sequel. First of all, and just anyone listening, this is about the Batman with Robert Pattinson and Zoe Kravitz, who I believe is now single. So shout out to Zoe. Shout out to Zoe. I don't know if she's ever going to see this, but if she ever does, holler at me. Or I'll more likely reach out to you and ask you to a nice wine dinner or something, and we maybe go ziplining in Costa Rica or something. I don't know. Give me a second. I just got a crazy text message that I got to look at. Hold on, people listening. I got a text message. Really important stuff here. Really riveting text message. Itinerary. I can't even say what this text is about because I know there are other people listening who then will text me and be like, "Oh, I listen to your podcast. Tell me more about this." Like, mind your own goddamn business. Anyway, the Batman is tended to be the first of a new Batman film trilogy and establish a Batman-focused shared universe separate from the DCEU. Key cast members are signed on, whatever. Pattinson said, blah, blah, blah. Pattinson and Reeves expressed interest in introducing Robin. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Cancel GCPD series. Centered on the Gotham City Police Department. Sorry, guys. I'm just reading the Batman, the first year focusing on the corruption. But in November, Joe, blah, 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 blah. The Penguin, Laura. Following. Okay. He said. Okay, so here's the thing: is that they said that they want the Batman to be the first of a trilogy, but separate from the DCEU, which means that whatever characters get introduced in here will be just its own world. What would be interesting is that no, but it would be interesting is that if the Joker movie with Joaquin Phoenix was in this universe, because you could make the argument that I feel like the tones were kind of similar. You could make the argument that Bruce Wayne was young enough in that movie to have seen that, been impacted by that, and then the person who murdered his parents in that movie was ordered to do so by Carmine Falcone. But I doubt that's the case. And then the second thing they're saying is that there's going to be a Penguin limited series that's going to talk about the events after the film and kind of talk about how Colin Farrell / Penguin kind of rises to power because now that everyone's behind bars. And then there's also going to be a separate like Arkham series about, the bases of Arkham and what have you. So my thoughts on this is that Warner Brothers has completely dropped the ball on all things DC. And I know that there's a Shazam is coming out. I understand that Black Adam is coming out. But just imagine for a second, we're in an alternate universe. Superman comes out. You have a nice Superman sequel. Batman vs. Superman never happens because Batman vs. Superman is, I understand what they were trying to do with like a conflict between two heroes and someone who thinks he's doing right. But talk about the hubris, arrogance, ignorance, and stupidity by someone supposedly as smart as Batman, who's Bruce Wayne, is supposed to be really intelligent, moves ahead of everyone, chess, not checkers. Wouldn't it be more smart and logical to like try to have a conversation with Superman and be like, hey, dude, like, I'm worried that you're bringing unwanted attention to Earth and you're super powerful and you nearly leveled an entire city because of the fight you had. I can't have that happen. Like, that's a threat because, like, I get that you were trying to, I don't even know if Batman recognizes that Superman, like, when you watch the trailer, Bruce Wayne has, like, hatred in his eyes towards Superman? Is it jealousy? Like, what is it? Does it even resonate or register with him that he's trying to save the fucking planet? He is fighting bad people who are trying to kill him. Like, does that not resonate with Bruce Wayne? I think Batman vs Superman was such a fucking dumb movie. Don't even get me started on Civil War. So again, I don't want to get on a tangent of how dumb I think and how just utterly useless Batman vs Superman was. Imagine we're in a universe where Batman vs Superman doesn't happen. They have Superman 1. They have Batman come out with Ben Affleck, however you want to introduce him. And then maybe it is like a Batman Superman combo, and they come together and they need to take down Doomsday together and Lex Luthor. Now let's say Lex Luthor gets his thing going, in that movie as well, so it lays the seeds for that. And then you have the Aquaman movie, you have the Wonder Woman movie, which individually were great, and then you kind of have like Justice League 1, where again Zack Snyder's Justice League was great, but you'd have that continuity. I really do think Batman vs Superman is like the fault of all of this, right? Because then once you have Justice League, and then by this point Shazam came out, you acknowledge that it's in the same universe because of the way Superman comes in at the end, and Henry Cavill couldn't be in that scene. He really wanted to, but it's because he was filming Mission Impossible, and I think because of his mustache, he couldn't shave it, timing. But Henry, I think you're a great actor. I'd love to meet you, work out with you, but you should have fucking moved hell or high water. You should have made it to that scene. You truly would have gone down as a legend. Like, children would have built statues of you had you made that scene happen. But anyway, so imagine in your universe, Batman vs Superman doesn't happen, but instead the script is about either Batman doing his own thing and then fending off Lex Luthor, or it's Batman and Superman coming together, stopping Lex and his gang shenanigans or whatever, and that's how it kind of lays the foundation for Justice League. Justice League 1 happens again. You could even have a component of Lex Luthor kind of being involved somehow with Darkseid and all of that. I don't know, somehow, but in a way where it's more cohesive, right? And there's that storyline there. And then maybe you have the Flash movie, Wonder Woman 2, even how bad it was, you still kind of have it, or maybe you have it be in the modern day, right? So there's like a little bit of continuity, right? But again, you're building this DCEU together. You have Suicide Squad, which we know is in this universe, which I don't think that was that bad. I think most fans enjoyed it. We'd be sitting somewhere right now where you'd be introducing Shazam 2, Black Adam, and you could then now have like a monster epic Justice League in like a 2024, 2025, where it would be Black Adam, Superman, Shazam, Batman, all of them against Darkseid coming to Earth for the anti-life equation. And like, that could have been it. And we're not ever going to get that because they fucked it up because of Batman versus Superman. Anyway, I went off on a tangent. I didn't even talk about the Batman. So that's that. That was my little tangent on that. But to speak to the Batman, I don't think you can, and people are like, oh, is this better than Nolan's Batmans? I think they're totally two different Batmans. I think you have to look at Nolan's Batman as a more mature Batman, even though in the first Batman, it's like, I don't think that first Batman is as young as we think he is. He graduated from Princeton, I believe, even hypothetically. Then he went to go train and went through all this shit. Given that origin and backstory, what he came up under, his training, his mindset, the rigor, and it's just an older Batman versus this Batman that Robert Pattinson does. We don't know what his training was, right? Like, we don't know where his training is coming from, right? Like, we don't realize who he is, right? He could still be a young kid, right? He's like a year or two into this. Like, maybe he hasn't had a chance to fully explore himself and his downfalls and his flaws as a human or whatnot. What I really did like about this is that they showed Batman in this case kind of like really solving a case, right? He's kind of like a detective. I mean, that's what Batman is, right? Like, he's genuinely in there. And what I loved is, like, there's even a conflict where Batman's not necessarily loved, right? Even within the police, he's not necessarily loved. They kind of look at him as a freak. They're like, yo, get him out of here. He's not one of us. So what I liked about this Batman was that, hey, it's showing this guy who's like, for all intents and purposes, to me, could be like 23, 24, 25, literally just learning, like, hey, how do I solve a crime? Like, what are the elements of the underworld? Like, what are my limitations? What are my limits? Like, what can I do? What can I not do? Like, still learning the technology. What technology does he have? Doesn't he have? Because he's just riding a normal motorcycle, normal muscle car, you know, apparently fucking bulletproof and shotgun proof, which I don't know how he's doing that. But I like the fact that he's exploring. I like the fact that he's a detective. He's looking for clues, trying to figure things out. A great detective at that too, by the way, in this movie, without spoiling it. Anytime my guy gets hit with like a riddle, he just fucking knows the answer. I'm like, that was like, what is this? Phone a friend, like, yo, Robert, yo, Arpat's like, I have a riddle. Can you tell me this? So I don't think you can compare this. I think this is a great movie on its own, and it's like, if you were to watch this Batman at any point in any life, like, wow, there's a great movie about Batman, about a young version of Batman who's like kind of learning the responsibility of being someone this powerful and great, what this power comes from. Because at a certain while, you could tell he's really young, and there is some sort of naiveness, is that a word, to him. Because there's a part where he's talking to Alfred, and he like, you get the sense that he hates his money. Or I think, sorry, they're like, oh, the accounts are coming. And he's like, why? Like, why are the accounts coming? And it's like, does he not realize that, like, hey, you need to run this company to fund your Batman dream? And I think that's where, like, his privilege shows, where he thinks he can go and do something and not have to worry about how or what or the unintended consequences. It's like, because he's a billionaire and he's had money there just to fund his life. And it's like, hey, you do know that, like, Wayne Enterprises needs to produce profit so you can go and be Batman. Like, yes, you hate your wealth, but your wealth is the very thing that you hate is the thing that is allowing you to do what you want to do. So I thought that kind of showed, like, all right, this guy's still out of touch. Even though he wants to do good, he doesn't realize that he's only able to do good and to the level that he can, to the scale and the way it's amplified. It's because he's a billionaire, because he has the tools to be Batman, right? The technology to be Batman. And I think that's something that Christian Bale's Batman kind of recognized, right? Where at the end of the movie, he's like, all right, well, I mean, look, this is just, if you really want the script, right? In this hypothetical universe, he's like, hey, Morgan Freeman, good CEO, let's run the business. Where, you could tell that, like, they made it clear that, like, hey, this Christian Bale's Batman is involved with Wayne Enterprises. You need the company to do well because you need to make money. And he's using that Bruce Wayne persona to the full extent. Versus in this movie, it seems like he's the young version of, like, the Batman in The Dark Knight Rises, where he's just like a recluse, right? And no one hears about him. Versus, like, oh, let me use my Bruce Wayne persona to be Bruce Wayne, and then I have Batman to be Batman. And I don't think Arpats Batman is doing that. So it'll be interesting in the second Batman, in the third Batman, how do they craft a narrative and a story where it's like, hey, let me use Bruce Wayne to be Bruce Wayne and do good through Bruce Wayne, being Bruce Wayne, and at the same time doing good my way as Batman, right? Yeah, see, so right here, depiction of Batman. Let's actually read this real quickly. Baker said that previous Batman films tend to reflect right-wing themes, with Burton and Nolan's adaptations featuring libertarian and vaguely authoritarian depictions of Batman. I don't know about vaguely authoritarian, I guess. The Batman departs by questioning Batman's ethics and focusing on his mental health. The film explores the idea that Batman should be more philanthropic. I mean, I'd argue Nolan's Batman was very philanthropic, right? Initially, Batman, or it's implied that he has. See, initially, Batman does not realize he is taking his wealth for granted and could be using it to help Gotham. The Batman was more direct in addressing the issue that previous Batman films than previous Batman does not realize. Yeah. So this is exactly what I was saying, is that he's saying that the Batman, Arpats' Batman, doesn't realize that he's taking his wealth for granted and could be using it to help Gotham. The Batman was more direct in addressing the issue than previous films, but circumvents this argument by portraying Thomas Wayne's attempt at philanthropy as only leading to corruption. Yes, but I'd argue that this, like, redemption fund or the renewal fund in this movie was, like, thwarted and taken advantage of because Thomas Wayne died. So now you had, like, this renewal fund of, like, $1 billion that just, I guess, is an evergreen fund that's funded by Wayne Enterprises profits who's overseeing it. It's not Thomas Wayne because he's dead, and Robert Pattinson's Batman doesn't give a shit. So whose fault is it, Batman? Right? Conversely, Baker felt the film directly addresses the issue by having progressive mayoral candidate Bella Real confront Bruce about his wealth during the funeral scene, which I do think she'll have an important part to play in the second one. And then this was a second part that I was talking about, was a relationship with police. In this movie, the relationship differs from prior films because Burton's film shows the police as incompetent. Nolan depicts them as bending the law to assist the Batman, which they do. The Batman shows Batman having a hostile relationship with the police, who see him as a criminal. Baker said every time Batman interacts with police, there's a palpable sense of discomfort to them. To them, Batman represents a level of oversight that they're not used to having to contend with, which is actually true. Because think about it, if you're a cop, you're kind of seen as like, oh, like I'm supposed to go out there and hunt bad guys. Like, who's this guy going to come and tell me what to do? I can see how there is that power dynamic. Something that this was released February 1st, 2022. I should have read this. A prequel novel before the Batman original movie novel. Oh, this is nice. In March, Riddler Year 1, a prequel comic book set to be published. Oh, and it's written by Paul Dano. Oh, wow. Okay, so we're definitely going to read that. I'm going to actually read this before next week's episode. So they apparently had an origin story comic that they made just for the movie before the Batman, an original movie novel. Fuck. Let me see if this is available, because my whole analysis could be like fucking wrong based on what this is about. And then I'm also interested in reading about Riddler Year 1, the prequel comic, a 6-issue limited series. That'll be good. So anyway, that's about the Batman. I thought Batman was a great movie. If you had to ask me where do I put this, I don't fuck. For me, Dark Knight Rises are 1 and 1A. Excuse me. If I had to choose a 1 and a 2, do I put TDK or TDKR? If you asked me before, like 10 years ago, I'd put TDK at the top and I'd put TDKR second. But given where I am in my life right now, I feel like I resonate more with Bruce Wayne from TDKR. So I'm going to put that number 1 because I feel like an old man who's been out because I was injured. And I was like, I'm not the same that I was athletically, like literally 2 years ago, which is crazy. Like, just, it's crazy to think what I was doing, just fucking lugging 100-pound sandbags and kettlebells. And the fuck was I thinking? That's crazy, right? I don't want to get back to all that, but it's physically grueling. But oh yeah, no shocker, this hasn't loaded. Let me see if I can find this real quickly somewhere. Yeah, I'm gonna have to buy this, which I don't mind. I just, I wish it was ready so we could just like read it together. Maybe I could buy it and we could read it together. But anyway, so yeah, Dark Knight Rises number 1, Dark Knight number 2. I think I'll put this number 3. I think that's how impressed I was by this and how good I think this is. I think the Batman is number 3 or number 5, because 4. Michael Keaton's first Batman, to me, should be 3. In my opinion, I think Michael Keaton's first Batman should be number 3. Number 4. I know people don't like Batman Forever, but I did, so live with it. And then 5, I got to put the first Batman by Nolan. But anyway, let me see if we can get this up for now. Yeah, you know what? Let me read it. Come back to this. Okay, wait. Let's just finish. Before that is an original novel. This is technically the first installment in the universe. Edward does not properly adapt the Riddler's identity, which is but captions within the sections with images about Selena Kyle doesn't make an appearance. She didn't use Catwoman in the film. They're right. They didn't use a Catwoman moniker in here. There's some minor continuity inconsistencies. Bruce Wayne's company is known as Wayne Industries, while it's known as Wayne Enterprises. Yeah, but that could just be like, you could have a subsidiary of like Wayne Industries. It's all the same shit. Arkham State Hospital. Whatever. Yeah, they're not gonna give a shit. I'm gonna have to just buy it and read it, which is fine. I just thought maybe they'd have um, little bit on here. Uh, all right, guys, that was episode 13. I know we're gonna get to Dune and everything, everywhere, all at once, but it's been 40 minutes I've been talking. So, uh, yeah, episode 13 in the books. I wanted to talk about also John Torino, such an underrated uh actor, by the way, very underrated actor. I didn't even get to talk about him in terms of like favorite performances. Honestly, I wish we got to see like this. He did very well. Like the acting in this movie was fantastic. First of all, Colin Farrell was like unnoticeable. Even when you see him talking and speaking, you can't tell that it's him. That's how crazy the makeup game has gotten. Um, but I do think that excuse me, um, the just like the acting for Carmine Falcone was tremendous. I mean, it really was like I thought it was fantastic. I wish we went into a little bit more of the character details versus just a general movie review and like where it looked. Um, I'll say this though. I know we did Batman to Batman. If we do Catwoman to Catwoman, Selena Kyle versus Zoe Kravitz, the similarity is that like, hey, they both were kind of coming from a place of trying to escape, which of like, hey, we both want to get out of our situations. Who was more desperate? I'd argue they were both equally as desperate because Anne Hathaway, if she didn't get that hard drive, she was going to get killed. And in reality, that program, Dagger wasn't going to help her anyway. So there's that. And in this case, Zoe Kravitz's Selena Kyle wasn't necessarily in any danger. Like, yeah, her roommate got murdered because she's the one who had the information, but Selena Kyle wasn't necessarily going to get hurt. It's tough. I think they both did a great job. I really can't pick. Like, I know Christian Bale's always gonna be number one for me, no matter what. Man, gun to the head. Gun to the head. I'd have to pick Anne Hathaway, only because her Selena Kyle understood the pain of Bruce Wayne and Batman versus this Selena Kyle. I imagine the second or third movie, if she finds out that Batman is Robert Pattinson, I don't know how that would go down because she has a clear distaste for Arpats and his money and Bruce Wayne's money, and not necessarily understanding the pain that he has as Batman of trying to turn this around. Whereas Anne Hathaway, I feel like could see through that, saw the conflict that he had as a human, as a man, and his need and want and desire to save people, and her fight to say, hey, you don't need to do this anymore. We can leave. I just felt like that's a character trait or a character in general that I resonates more with me. So, yeah, listen, Nolan is still on top. No shocker there. This is definitely top 5. This is way better than I thought, way better than anyone thought. It's just it stands alone on its own, and I'm excited to see the next 2 installments. I'm excited to see how they bring the Joker. We didn't even talk about that scene, which I wish they didn't delete it out. It was a 5-minute scene. It was a 2-hour and 54-minute movie. You could have just fucking kept it in. Come on, Reeves. If I ever meet Matt, I'm just gonna have to ask him like, hey, Reeves, like, why'd you get rid of it? There was no need to get rid of it. You could have easily kept it in there, and it would have just added so much more to it. One thing, I think that scene was worse than like hearing Barry talk as a Joker was arguably harder to listen to than Tom Hardy as Bane. I could not understand a goddamn word that Barry was saying. I had to literally rewatch it on YouTube. It was just like muffled. It's like, guys, like, okay, so one, lighting, we got to stop this shit with like filming shit in the fucking dark. Like, use lights. Like, we can't see anything. We, the people, cannot see anything. Please. One, subtitles in movie theaters, please. Subtitles. Could we make a vote? Could we get subtitles? So let's start using lights. Let's start using subtitles. Guys, clear audio. Enunciate A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, QRS. Like, enunciate clear words. You can have muffled accents and shit, but you can make it clear and easy to understand. You're going to be in the movie theater. What the fuck did this guy say? I'm watching it in my computer right here. I got speakers right here. I can't understand a goddamn thing. Anyway, episode 13, guys. Next week, I'll probably talk about Dune and everything everywhere all at once, but more sports stuff. I don't know what the fuck the Yankees are doing. Lakers off-season preview. Potentially Nets off-season review at this point. They're down 0-2. I don't know what the fuck they're doing. So we'll get into all that. But anyway, guys, I'm out. Peace.